Oh, you have to sit behind your name.
Yeah, sorry.
So people aren't like...
Sorry, I don't know how this works.
Nameless guy. Welcome! It's good to see you guys. You're the first panel today on Friday of Comic-Con 2013. Do you feel good? Did you guys go out? You guys had a World End party last night.
Yeah, we had a big do.
It was pretty good.
I think so.
I saw a shaved-headed Matt Smith running around.
Yeah, Doctor Who was at our party.
Oh. I actually kind of want to start...
The party was bigger on the inside than the outside.
You get it?
Yeah, who jokes?
This is the one place where you could actually, people would be like, I get that, and then anywhere else. I saw the movie about a week and a half ago. It's fantastic. You guys, I know it opened in the UK today. It's not opening here until August 23rd, but the movie's great. But one thing, without giving too many spoilers, to me, speaking of Doctor Who, it actually did feel like there was like a Doctor Who element to the story.
Well, if you've ever watched Doctor Who and thought it would be funnier if the Doctor was really hammered, then this is the movie for you. So why don't we just retitle it Doctor Hooch?
You wrote material for this?
I just got a whole long line of Doctor Who jokes.
Do them. This is the place to do them. 10 minutes. What, did you feel like...
It's funny the Daleks can't get up the stairs.
They hover now, Edgar. They didn't before, but now they hover. Simon, do you sort of feel like Gary is sort of a dark doctor character? He does seem that there is a sort of madness that follows him, and after the first two movies of the trilogy, Gary's the one that's sort of... He's kind of a dick. He's a little bit of a dick.
Gary's a bit of a dick, it's true. It's kind of like the villain of the film as much as he is the hero. But yeah, he was so much fun to play. He's a complete nutcase and maddeningly frustrating. But there's a dark sort of truth to him which I hope the audience will understand and, explains his dickishness somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, he just never, it was like high school and then...
He got stuck in 1990, he never got out of 1990. And we joined him, he looks exactly the same, he's still dressing like a sad goth. And there's happy goths, by the way, I was a very happy goth, but he looked dressed like a sad goth. And his friends have all moved on, and he's trying to sort of drag them back, which he kind of successfully does, drag them back in time, another sort of Doctor Who kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because you see him graduate high school and you're like, oh, it's this guy, and he looks super cool and he's gonna take on the world, and then 20 years later and it's just exactly the same haircut, the same coat, the same shirt.
Exactly. Our TARDIS in this film though is beer.
Yeah.
That's our time
and Nick, this is the first of the three movies, Andy's a super buttoned out character. Very responsible, he's a corporate lawyer.
Yes.
Good. Thanks for coming to the
Thank you, Chris.
That was great, you're great. But when you guys were looking at the three films, did you sort of pick, like, these are the different types of characters I want to portray throughout the trilogy and mix it up each time?
No, I just think I think Simon and I had to do something different in terms of the characters we played in this. I didn't want people to just immediately think, oh, there's the stoned idiot again. I think it was nice that I got a chance to be a kind of angry, button-down hard nut.
A hard nut?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when we did Shaun of the Dead, we were probably closer to those two guys when we did Shaun, right? I mean, you were more like Ed than you are now, well, definitely. And I was more like Shaun. Now,
I think I'm a bit more like
you're Mike Andy.
Yeah.
And I could have been Gary, but I managed not to be.
For how many people understand? Do you know the concept of the Cornetto trilogy? Do most of you understand what it is? Some of you do you understand? It's basically. They're loosely tied together by ice cream.
It's a very, there are bigger things that link the films, but the loosest one is that the ice cream features in all three. And the reason is, in Shaun of the Dead, Nick Frost's character asked for a cornetto on a Sunday morning, which is a very strange thing to ask for an ice cream on a Sunday morning, but when I was at college, I was hungover once and I had a cornetto ice cream, strawberry one, and I felt a lot better. Not medically proven. I would really like a strawberry cornetto right now, actually.
There's an equivalent here, right? It's not,
Drumsticks?
I think it's called a drumstick. It's a British confection, for those of you who don't know. They might export it here after these films if they do well.
But, so basically, but then, here's the thing. Then we had cornetto in the first film, but we got free ice cream in the premiere. So we're thinking, hey, if we run into the second film, we might get some free ice cream.
Oh my god, if we call it the Cornetto trilogy, we can build a house of ice cream.
I think we're going to do the three colours Aston Martin.
The Choco Man Aston Martin. It was it was strawberry for the first one,
Yes.
right? Which represented blood.
Blood.
Right, and then what was for Hot Fuzz?
Blue for the police.
And then Choco Man Green for aliens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And was that one of those things where you guys never intended to tell anyone that was a thing, but it just sort of came out?
No, it just happened in an interview once. Somebody said, "Oh, you've got two cornetos in both films. Are you going to do a third one and make it a trilogy?" And I said, "Yes, it's going to be like Krzysztof Kieslowski's Three Colors trilogy, it's a Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy."
Basically, we were busted for trying to.
No other panel today is going to make a Kieslowski reference. That's not going to happen in the Veronica Mars panel.
It's not going to happen in the running market. No.
So that it kind of stuck.
Yeah. Did you guys, when you started, I mean, this has been 9 years. This is basically the coming together of 9 years. And when you started, Sean, did you envision any of this, or is it each time it happens, are you surprised? Like, oh shit, we get to make another one.
No, I mean, when we made Shaun of the Dead, like, we were just lucky to make a film full stop, and like, you don't really think beyond even your home country. In fact, the first time that we actually it opened up to a larger world was coming to Comic-Con in 2004 when me and Simon came. And you know, it made us so sort of proud to have made like a British film and to see audiences over here laughing at it. And in a way, I think that just encouraged us to kind of keep it British, you know. And a lot of like British films put like American stars in them to kind of, increase the international appeal, but we sort of tried to make 3 films, and this one, even though, you know, it has got Scotty and Bilbo in it, let's make no mistake. Oh
wait, that's right, you were in that space movie. Yeah.
Oh, was I?
Is it sort of weird for you guys?
Wait, but you've got an English accent.
When you guys are, you're making Sean, you're making those movies together, it's clear that you're friends. I think one of the reasons why the film works so well is because it really feels like, oh, this is something that I would want to do with my friends. Is it weird to then go work on other sets with other groups of people that you don't really know when you guys, are so used to working?
Sometimes you forget breaking wind isn't funny to everybody. Isn't it? That's what I thought.
Well, you guys should work together all the time.
I think it has international appeal.
Okay, the second trilogy, the fart trilogy. The British fart trilogy.
3 flavors? No, forget it. Oh, good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's nice to go away and do other stuff, and then this film is kind of about friends reuniting, and we haven't made a film, all 3 of us together, for 6 years. Edgar went off and made Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Key for applause.
Yeah.
We went off and made Paul.
Slightly louder.
Start listing all of your credits and then how about this one?
Just do that again so I can take a read. And so we all came back together, and it was like putting on a pair of comfortable slippers or something, just the 3 of us getting back together. And we've been friends for nearly 20 years. Nick and I have been friends for 20 years. And just to get back into that group and make a film, and also bringing new people like Eddie Marzan, who we hadn't worked with, Rosamund Pike, who's wonderful, and some very interesting cameos as well, which I'm sure the audience will get a kick out of when they see it.
It's like having a brief love affair, and then you come back to your marriage, and it just makes it stronger. I'm not condoning having a love affair.
The message is, Nick's message today is, fuck around.
So basically this...
What happened to all age, right?
Alright.
It's like we had an argument, and then we came back together and had the greatest, angriest make-up sex, and this is the result.
Well, I think what a lot of people are hoping is that this is not the last time, that even though you're calling it a trilogy, that maybe there will still be, whenever you guys get together.
I think these 3 films, the reason we call them a trilogy is because we set ourselves a little criteria for these films, that being they're all set in the UK, they're all set now, they're kind of about friendship and growing up, and about sort of a small group of people, one person facing off against a big thing, like the zombies or the NWA or whatever. The next thing we do together won't have to abide by that. We could make it somewhere else, and we can set it in the past or whatever. So of course we'll work together again. But we want this to be a solid little trilogy, and that's what it is. It's a box set, basically.
And we would have made this movie to wrap things up. I think, you've seen the movie, you'll see that there are some sort of themes, we've dealt since space with like the...
I was going to go through Simon's IMDb page.
But we wanted to sort of wrap some things up, so there's like this theme of perpetual adolescence and the joys and dangers of it, and we wanted to make this film was kind of about that, you know.
You mean like when Simon was born in Gloucester?
Gloucester.
Well,
Yeah, because it's massive.
We say Gloucester, this is America! We just had July 4th, don't make us kick your asses back over there again! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get all Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol on you.
I love your tea party podcast, Chris.
Well, yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, it's great. So what type of thing do you think, have you even talked about what could be next for the
I
three
think
of you
this
guys?
is probably the time to tell everyone what we're doing next, Edgar.
Oh yes, I wanted to announce that as well as doing Marvel's Ant-Man, I'm doing a spin-off film, another Ant film, which is going to be a buddy comedy with two Ant heroes, Abdoman and the Mighty Thorax. In fabulous 3D.
What did you guys learn from? You have to do that now.
We had the idea for The World's End on the press tour for Hot Fuzz in between New Zealand and Australia in the air, basically. And so we're not due to have our next idea until about 4 weeks' time.
Right.
Then we'll know what we're going to do next.
That's right.
It's scheduled to come up with the idea of the Seattle baggage carousel on Monday morning.
But when you come up with the idea, then it just years go by. How do you find time to sort of get together and make it formative? Because obviously you guys just get busier and busier and busier.
In the case of this film, it actually just made the idea stronger. I don't think we'd have written the same script 6 years ago. And what was nice about it is because it is about friends reuniting after a long time and going back to their hometown. And I shot Hot Fuzz is shot in my hometown, so I had the experience of going back there a lot. And it kind of just informed the movie really, because we wanted to do a film that it starts off like a reunion comedy that's sort of about friends coming together, going back to their hometown, having that bittersweet experience of not connecting with each other or with the town, and then discovering that there's an otherworldly reason for this.
Was there ever any? Were you ever tempted at all to not mention anything about the alien part of it, just so that it would be a complete?
We didn't have a choice, really. You have to, films need marketing, and unfortunately that requires you to give things away in order to give the audience an idea of what they're going to see. That's just a way of the world. Ideally, any film you're going to see, you really shouldn't know anything about it, and then you will be surprised by every turn, every twist, and every moment of tension you'll experience as the filmmaker intended, but it's very rare that happens these days.
But Chris, as somebody who's seen it, can you confirm that there's lots in the movie that is not in the trailer?
Edgar, I can confirm 100% that there is lots in the movie that is not in the trailer.
Yeah!
Just by virtue of the fact that a trailer is 2 minutes long. Edgar, in a film, in this case, is 1 hour and 49 minutes long. Yeah, I memorized the running time. By the way, I feel like a total dick because they were like, you get to see the movie and we're going to screen it for you. And I was like, oh, snazzy, private screening. So I got busy that day. I showed up like 20 minutes late. There was a small theater of people waiting. And they were like, hey, it's Chris Hardwick. And I'm like, and I just played it on. I was like, start the movie now. It behind. But the movie's great, and when it comes out, you guys should absolutely see it. I want to open the floor up to questions so that you guys we have plenty of time to answer your questions. Let's get the spotlight. First question.
There he is. Hello.
Hello there, mate.
Morning, sir.
Are you the Ender's Game guy?
This is Divergent, right?
Are you serious?
Ender's Game was an incredible experience.
William Tom.
Yes, Chris Hardwick.
Oh,
I can
man.
answer questions about Divergent and Ender's Game. Bring it
No,
on.
so in Ender's Game, I feel that.
Dude, do you know the corner you painted or something? You have to do this at every single panel.
So I'm that guy.
You have to get up in Veronica Mars and ask about Ender's Game. Yeah.
Send me a spot, I'll be here. So, Simon and Nick, I love your movie so much. Can you please stop making me wait so long?
Gee, sorry. It's good to wait.
Boy, I'm gonna wait in line and then give those jerks a piece of my mind. Yeah, they're gonna wait for the answer. It's gonna sit down. I'm William Tom.
We'll try and speed it up a little bit.
I promise it'll be worth it.
it's nice to wait, and then you won't get bored with seeing us doing the same thing all the time, and then when we come back every 6 or 7 years, it's a real treat.
And we were really busy. Edgar and I were writing this film whilst I was shooting Star Trek Into Darkness. And every day I wasn't shooting that, I'd be writing with Edgar, so it's not like we don't fill our time, it's quite a long process.
Wait, which movie was that?
Star Trek Into Darkness.
We're like the
engineer, Montgomery Scott.
Did that feel anything like? Did that
we're like
feel
the Halley's Comet of British comedy. It's a build, it was a slow build in terms of
Ice Age Continental Drift? Sorry on that one.
Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Doesn't always work.
Thank you, William Tong. I'll see you in an hour.
Anybody else got questions about this game?
Hi.
Hello.
I absolutely love you guys a lot. And my question is, I find you completely hilarious. So who do you find completely hilarious?
Oh,
Great question.
good question.
We've been watching a lot of Lonely Island clips
Yeah,
Diaper Money has been making us laugh a lot. Yeah.
we love Lonely Island. We love, I really like the Kroll Show at the moment. We work with
Louis C.K. is an
Louis
incredible
C.K. Louis. Parks and Recreation is an amazing show. Lots of great American comedy on at the moment.
I've been enjoying Modern Family on Qantas religiously. We took a lot of flights that were all on Qantas, what can I say?
there are
other great comedy out there.
I watched a hilarious thing on the flight called The Dark Charisma of Adolf Hitler. Great character.
Like far-fetched, but good guy.
It could never happen, but it's really funny.
What about you, Nick?
What?
Who do you like?
I like Simon.
Good answer.
Yeah, no, all of those shows and more. I watched endless kind of reruns of Larry Sanders. I think just watching Hank,
Hey now.
do his stuff. It was a pretty good impression. You laughed, like you were surprised. Yeah.
I love that you can still amaze me.
See, the relationship is so fresh. Good. Edgar, you were explaining what you're...
We made each other last week laugh on the flight back from Dublin, which is an hour, and we just laughed the whole flight back, and we just kept saying the same thing over and over again. And this is what we kept saying. Would you like a light meal? It just kept us laughing for an hour.
Relationship tips from Simon and Nick.
Your guys' travel schedule is insane, Edgar. You said you were like, it was Australia and New Zealand, and then London, and then here, and then Canada. What's the map?
We got it from Sydney yesterday.
Yes, we got it from Sydney. I came straight onto my EW panel, Entertainment Weekly, not Edgar Wright, straight off the plane from Sydney. So we're in a different, but we're loving it. It's great.
Our tours are so bonkers. I think people assume we've got so much time in each city. I have a sister that lives in New Zealand, and I had to book like a 45-minute breakfast meeting to see her. It's terrible. I haven't seen her for 6 years. I didn't pick up the check though.
No, it is strange going to cities and being like just doing junkets and never going outside. I feel a bit like Julian Assange.
Oh yes.
Down from WikiLeaks.
Played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay.
What film is he in?
He's in a...
Star Trek.
What is he in?
This guy's been waiting patiently for a long
Okay,
time.
let's go.
What is
Hi
it?
guys, how you doing?
Hey!
Gentlemen.
My question is, Simon and Nick, how often do you guys stick to the script of the movie, or you just play off each other? Or...
Improv riffing?
Not really. I mean, anything that's funny, anything that we find in rehearsal that's funny, it usually goes into the shooting script. And then we just shoot the script. We don't really have enough time to hang around and improvise. And, Edgar has such a razor-sharp idea of how each scene is going to end. Improvising with actors usually happens at the end of a scene, And so there's no time for it. So, I mean, we have a laugh, sure, but we don't improvise Hardly at all, really.
It's always important for us to come to set with a script that's nailed down. You know, we have a rehearsal period that we have with the actors. Edgar and I will write the script. We'll bring Nick in. We'll go through the script with Nick. He'll sprinkle his fairy dust on it. Then we get into the rehearsal period with the actors.
It's actually dandruff.
Sorry, it's dandruff.
Is that what it is? Yeah, no. Keep it in that bag, but it is dandruff.
But when we get to set, it has to be, you know, there's no time for effing around, as Nick said, because Edgar's transitions are very definite, you know, cut to cut. It needs to flow in a certain way. We also like to think about the big picture all the time. And sometimes if you do something in one scene and it doesn't tally up with something that happens later on, we're very anal is what I'm saying.
If Nick Frost stops you on the convention floor and tries to sprinkle you with fairy dust, run.
Or just go like this.
One or the other. I usually run it through a filter of Febreze first, so it usually smells quite good.
Yeah, oh, button lady!
Hi, Chris.
I remember you.
Hi.
This is like a reunion! What is your question?
My question is,
Is your question, do we like buttons? Because the answer is yes.
my question is concerning. I'll wait.
I'll
It's
make
okay.
you
Well, you're holding your arms under the cape like you're just gonna go.
Please don't.
I have nothing for that.
How about a button?
I have buttons for you.
Oh, I have buttons for you too.
I had a question. Okay.
Calm. You can do it.
Have a breath.
Thank you.
Think about your favourite button.
That's gonna take ages. You must have a keep calm and carry on button somewhere on that cape.
Close your eyes.
I have buttons.
Visualize the button. On that button is a question.
You're in a tropical button. A warm tropical button. Oh look, a dolphin button is swimming by.
Let the lady speak. Everybody, quiet. Shush. Stop.
Alright.
Okay. I want complete silence. Let this lady ask a question.
My question is for none of you on the stage.
Fuck you, Buttons.
Do you understand that next year Button Lady is gonna get her own panel in Hall 8?
My question is, Martin Freeman works with you guys. Standing next to you guys looks fantastic because you seem to have the same comedic sense and he looks wonderful with his comedic style next to you guys. How did you fit your movie into his schedule? He's been a bit busy lately.
No, well, that's a good question because he actually, whilst he was shooting, Martin Freeman is fantastic in this movie, and I think you'll be very impressed by what he gets up to. But when he was shooting it, he shot like for 2 months. Left like one day he left to go to New Zealand, did his whole worldwide tour for The Hobbit, doing his press tour, and came back to set the next day when the movie was at #1 around the world and finished his scenes off. So Martin Freeman is a trooper. I think you'll be really excited about him in the movie.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Button Lady panel!
Follow that, mate. I'll try.
I'm excited.
Paul Lanyard.
First of all, thanks Chris for singing Happy Birthday to my wife last year at your Nerdist panel.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's been a year. Happy birthday again.
Well, we'll do that again on Saturday. Okay, I love the films, guys. It's a kind of a two-part question. This new one, I was wondering, can we turn it into a drinking game?
If you want to die, yeah.
I guess people could create their own golden mile
Absolutely.
in their neighborhood. You can set up little
It
pubs.
is the easiest drinking game of all time, because this is it. take a drink every time one of the characters takes a drink.
See you in
scene.
See, into the game, you're going to need simple rules like that. And the second part is, now that you've finished the trilogy, could we see something like a Goodies-esque journey to the center of the earth, like underneath the Jolly Rock or something?
Yeah. You said Goodies-esque?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I love it. I love the Goodies. Good deep cut reference there. Could we do, you know what, it's funny, like, I do like those, did you say Journey to the Center of the Earth type movie?
Yeah.
We all grew up on those, like, not just the Ray Harryhausen movies, but like, I know he gets a lot of stick in The Simpsons, but give it up for Doug McClure. I used to love those movies. At the Earth's Core, Warlords of Atlantis.
The Core, the Land of Time Forgot.
The Land of Time Forgot, the People that Time Forgot.
The Core. Yeah, I love it. Unobtainium. Brilliant.
Maybe, the answer is maybe.
The stronger the shit gets. Bring back on, lady.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So, unlike Button Lady, I have a shirt for you, Chris, later. But,
Erotic and sinister.
It smells like ether.
so all of your movies are known for their humor and, you know, hilarity and comedy. And I'm trying not to be a Debbie Downer, possibly, but what has been the most challenging scene for each one of you?
That's not a downer question, that's a good question. I thought it was so terrible, it was gonna be like,
Do we need
you guys, it's fun, but there's a lot of starving kids in the world. No, that's a fair question. What are some of the challenging scenes that you guys show?
Well, this movie's pretty challenging because we do, there's a lot of action scenes, quite a lot of which are on location, so that's quite challenging, and like, we really tried to push ourselves with the fight scenes in this. I think you'll be really impressed with Simon and Nick's prowess in the action scenes because we really went for it, and it's the most punishing fight scenes yet, would you say?
Yeah, but took days and days to shoot, and we basically devised a new martial art called Pub Fu, which I hope you'll learn and take with you to your next bar. And yeah, they were grueling but fantastic fun. I broke my hand.
What happened?
I got a spiral fracture of my fourth metacarpal.
What did Edgar do to you?
I jumped over because I was jumping over a bar and it snapped, and then I did 6 more takes on it because Edgar hadn't got the shot yet, which just shows you how much I love Edgar.
In my defense,
I didn't tell him.
In my defense, when I saw that Simon was wincing a little, I said, "Are you okay? Are you okay to do another take?" He went, "Yeah." But as producer, he didn't want to wrap it up. He wanted to keep going.
Did you have to shoot around?
I had to have like a temporary cast on during the rest of the shoot.
I would imagine challenging. You guys.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Was it as cool as your appearance in Grindhouse?
Yeah! I got cut out actually. I think one of the hardest scenes we ever shot was in. Yeah, does everyone see Shaun of the Dead? I'm going to. There's a spoiler. If you have to cover your ears, there's a scene in Shaun of the Dead where I have to shoot my mom, and it was a really long day, and everybody was crying, and I like this slow zoom on me as I'm saying it. It was really difficult, and
just let it out. Come on, friends. The gun went off. He died.
no, that was hard. We all had a bit of fun. Yeah.
Debbie Downer, what have you done?
Coming up next on Maury, children who are their own fathers. We'll be right back. Well, I would imagine your shoot schedule is probably one of the most challenging things. You guys do not have a lot of time to shoot this?
We shot for 3 months, which is about the same as Hot Fuzz, but it's kind of
Less than Hot Fuzz.
slightly less, but it's more ambitious, and you know, even actors like Martin Freeman, you have to whiz off and do the Hobbit premieres and stuff. So it was pretty tough, but like that's one of the reasons that we don't do.
Wait, do that again and do it slowly, and now zoom in.
What
I
happened?
was jokingly giving Martin that sign. Jokingly.
That's a window into exactly how you do that, by the way, just so you know.
Skip it.
Do a slow zoom for me.
Learn your
one or two.
The schedule was really, really tough.
Another turning point falls
That's miles away.
Oh, hi!
Hello.
What's your question?
So you guys were mentioning earlier about themes, and Simon, you in Empire Online, you said Shaun of the Dead is about evolution, and Hot Fuzz is about devolution, and The World's End is revolution? Revolution. And I was wondering, all three of you, what do you have to say? I'm really interested just to know how these themes play out.
I was feeling very pretentious that day. I think, yeah, because Shaun is about evolving, you know, because Shaun has to grow up to become a hero. He has to sort of take on responsibilities and be a man. Hot Fuzz is about devolution, because Nicholas Angel has to devolve to become a hero. He has to become like a gun-toting thug in order to beat the NWA. And in The World's End, it's about some guys standing up to something, and in that respect, it's kind of about revolution. And it sounds nice, it sounds lofty, it makes it sound more important than it is. That's my feeling. Nick?
I'm not sure I could possibly add anything to Simon's eloquent answer. But thank you for your question.
Just, if you're talking about The World's End on Twitter later, please use the hashtag lofty.
All right, next question.
Hi, my question is for Simon and Nick. What has been your favorite role?
Come on. Okay.
Okay, all three of you. What's been your favorite
What am I,
movie
Chuck
or
Litter?
role?
Let's make her keep expanding it. What about Eddie? He introduced us.
I just want to know what your favorite role and Edgar, your favorite movie to do so far.
Go Edgar, you go first.
Go Edgar.
All of them are hard to make for me, so I only get satisfaction from them when they're finished. So I couldn't pick between the three of them and stuff. So, but I really, you know, we only finished the film like 3 weeks ago. So I still get a kick out of watching it because it feels completely, the ending particularly feels completely kind of fresh to me. So I really enjoy the new one, which is coming out August 23rd.
The World's End.
The World's End.
Lofty, hashtag lofty.
Gary for me, I'm not just saying it because it's the last one we've done, but I had an enormously fun time playing Gary King. He was a challenge because he isn't immediately likable. You know, his motivations are pretty duplicitous, and he's a manipulator and he's a fool. And it was great fun to play somebody like that. Shaun is a very likable guy. You know, he's a bit of a sad sack. He's a likable guy, as is Nicholas Angel, even though he's very buttoned up and stiff. And I really loved playing those two guys, but Gary King, I feel like he's a very layered character. There's a lot going on with Gary, and it was probably my most sort of personal experience in a movie, and I had enormous fun playing him, so watch out for Gary King in World's End.
Thanks, Edgar. I enjoyed being Ed in Shaun of the Dead, but it wasn't a real stretch in terms of performance. At times they just came into my house and just shot stuff while I was just sitting about. Not being house shorts on. This character I play in The World's End now, August 23rd, is a lot more challenging. You know, he's an angry man, he has an atomic bomb inside of him, and just kind of watching on screen, waiting for him to go off is tremendously, you know, it gives me a nice feeling, and you know, it's nice to play someone smart and angry for once.
Tell them about your action nickname.
Oh yeah, my action nickname, which you will understand when you see the film August 23rd, is the Pink Hulk. So I wear a lovely pink shirt, and I fight with these giant bar stools for hands, and after a certain point in the film I don't speak, I just so yeah, once I've become Pink Hulk, you'll enjoy it.
Next question.
Hey guys, I'm curious if you'll ever revisit Spaced.
Okay.
Maybe you should sit down.
I don't think we will, mainly because like as you see in this movie, actually, we sort of do try and, throughout the 3 movies, actually, you know, the characters get older, and I think one of the things about Space is about the joys and of being young, and so I don't know if it would be right to, I don't know, I want to sort of leave them 26 forever. Simon?
The thing about doing Spaced again, I worry, is that we'd retroactively spoil what we did. I feel like, even though we got, you know, we kind of wanted to do a 3rd series back in the day, but just things happened, it didn't work out. It was no one's fault, it was just a timing issue. I feel like if we added to it now, it could ruin it, do you know what I mean? It could be like, it could sully the memory of what we did. So it's nice to just leave it how it was. It kind of ended nicely, and it's a show that I'm so proud of, and I look back on extremely fondly. But I don't think it's going to happen again. As much as you'll see, you know, Julia Deacon and Mark Heap are both in The World's End, as is Michael Smiley. Hopefully we'll work with Jessica again, you know. So it's not like we've all fallen out. It's just that was a specific time in our lives, and that time is gone.
I also think the kind of thing we're all missing here is they fucking couldn't afford me right now.
Sorry, sir.
Close on Nick.
Denied!
Can you
Now, walk back to your seat.
You doing the whole closing credit music?
No. Yeah, the other ground, but the rest of it. Actually, you guys, we'll take a few more questions before we wrap up, but you guys, Mike Brown did a really cool mashup piece.
We're not going to show a clip from the movie today because we do want you to go in as cold as possible, and even though you've seen the trailer, there's lots more that's in the film for you to enjoy. So instead of showing a clip, has anybody ever heard of Mike Brown, the mashup artist? There's these amazing YouTube clips. Well, you're going to see his work now because basically Mike Brown has done an amazing mashup for the 3 movies. So enjoy Mike Brown's 3 Cornettos mix.
Summation there, it's a pink hole.
I think we have time
Does
for...
everybody know that the guy who plays Lurch in Hot Fuzz is the Hound from Game of Thrones?
And I have kicked his ass.
I also loved David Bradley, too.
David Bradley is also in The World's End. It's fantastic.
And he plays Filch, you guys, from Harry Potter.
Yeah, and he's just about to play Doctor Who in a TV movie about the making of the first Doctor Who, playing William Hartnell.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They're making that?
Yeah, they're doing a panel for it this weekend.
Let's go to it!
Come on!
What is your name, sir?
Dan.
And what's your question?
So my wife's British. I lived in Britain for 12 years. My kids are half British. Oh no, it's all right. I'll come back home. So, but I watch your films, and I feel like I'm grateful that I somehow speak a second language and pick up on things that I wouldn't appreciate as much if I hadn't been there. Do you feel like people who aren't British are getting everything that's there? And do you ever think, oh, maybe that's just a bit too much, and we shouldn't do that and go that way?
Well, I think, you know, we just like to teach you Americans some new English swear words.
There's one that sounds really charming when you say it and really bad when we say it.
And there's 3 of them in The World's End. Well, that's not us, by the way.
Nice to meet you, thanks.
Thank you. Can I just say, I hate this camera angle because it looks like someone sellotaped a burrito to the back of my head. Don't eat it. It's got the blue corn tortilla.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Due to the way that films get edited and the way that they get shot in not necessarily chronological order, do you ever watch the movie at the end and are totally surprised at what comes out and what gets cut out?
I think what Machete is trying to ask is... Are you...
Machete will fuck you up.
I know.
Don't cross words with him.
I'm not.
I don't know. I mean, I think so. In answer to your question, I think... it's always great watching it back for the first time because, I mean, usually if you can, you try and shoot as much of it in chronological order as possible. That doesn't always happen with this film. We pretty much shot it in chronological order, which is great because throughout the movie our heroes are getting increasingly hammered, so it kind of helps with the performances. So in that sense, it wasn't too much of a surprise because we shot it in sequence. I can't believe Bum Lady is back.
I was thinking about you.
An encore performance.
There was room in the line, so I got back in.
Okay.
Since you've been talking about your credits, I thought I'd bring up the Superman, Death of Superman short from YouTube that Simon and Chris were in.
Oh, Death of Superman. Yeah, that was Max Landis. That was who's a brilliant writer, director.
Absolutely, yes. That was a lot of fun. Thanks.
Thanks.
I think
It looks like there's room. You want to ask another question, buddy?
she'd be virtually bulletproof, wouldn't she, as well? She would be. You'd have to get the spaces between the buttons.
Aim for the head. No.
Let's make a film right now with Shetty versus Button Lady.
Oh my God! You were kidding around, but that is an awesome idea.
Where's Rodriguez?
Where did he go? Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up in a minute. If there's no more questions, that was it. Okay. Oh wait.
Hello.
Yeah, this lady.
Clamoring. Yes. Oh, hello, Luigi.
Mr. L.
See.
I'd like to know, you guys are on a pub crawl in your movie, and what kind of beers would you like to indulge in on a pub crawl?
Oh.
Luigi wants to know what type of beer do you like? Okay, birra, it's a birra.
If anything, like the movie has turned me off drinking beer. If anything, if you imagine like shooting in bars all day, the last thing you want to do at the end of the day is have a beer. So I'm going to be a complete kind of fop and say red wine.
Edgar piace vino, non piace la birra. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm a huge fan, and I just had a question for all three of you. I'm an aspiring filmmaker, and right now we're just making things out of my aunt's house, but what kind of tips would you have for us?
Well, you're making things out of where? I'm sorry, you're making things where?
Well, like my aunt's house, she lives alone, so it's like the best way to...
Sure, yeah, I know, she thinks someone's broken in, I get it. I swear to God, I thought you said, I'm making stuff out of my ass house. You heard that too?
But you know what? No one's doing that. So if that's what you want to do, no one makes that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, he's making films.
New genre, art house movies. I'd go, definitely.
I think if you a serious answer. I think the only thing you can do, and you actually have more like chance to get your work seen now than ever before. When I was like starting out, YouTube and video didn't exist. You didn't have a platform to make shorts and get them out there. But the most important thing is to just keep experimenting and don't be afraid of making mistakes. And don't be put off if the first short sucks. Just keep like trucking ahead. I think a lot of people kind of do something, are frustrated with the process and give up. And the most important thing is never to give up. Serious answer.
Yeah, and you can just put stuff up online. Just please do me a favor, ignore YouTube comments. Whatever you do, they're poisonous. And by the way, if there are any trolls here, I know you value your anonymity, so that's fine. But I am begging you on behalf of anyone who makes anything online, please listen to what I'm about to say. Your, Y-O-U-R, is a possessive. Y-O-U apostrophe R-E is contraction. You are. I'll get tweets from people who are like, you're an idiot, Y-O-U-R. I'm like, that is a vortex of irony that is almost inescapable.
One day, a heroine will rise up and vanquish all the trolls, and her name is Button Lady. And once Button Lady had wielded her magic buttons, there were no more trolls.
Nice grammar, asshole. No, my typing fingers.
Space T-shirt lady.
Me.
I've never been called that, so thanks. Before I ask my whatever I was... Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I love all of you. I cried a little bit when you came out on the panel.
Disappointed is fine.
I know. I'm really sorry to disappoint you, but maybe I can turn back.
Yeah, okay. She keeps shutting me off, so I'm sorry. When you were writing your book, Simon, I was really amazed at how you were able to draw your ability with language and references, and I just wonder when you're writing how you... I sound so stupid and I'm really nervous. I'm sorry.
No. The shirt doesn't refer to the TV show.
This is me.
Finish your question.
Yeah, finish.
Finish the question.
I don't remember what it is, but thank you for everything.
Think of one. Just think of anything you want to ask. It could be anything.
What's your advice for people who want to do what you do?
Well, I think what you were trying to say about the writing and stuff. I think that the main thing you got to do is you got to write something that we got to make ourselves laugh first, and then hope that other people appreciate it. I think what you've got to do is you've got to write something that you're passionate about. And what we've done with these 3 movies, even though we've got a zombie movie, a cop movie, and a sci-fi movie, they're about our own experiences. And I think when you see the new one, you'll see that it's kind of quite personal in a way. And that's a great thing to do because you can make this kind of big, it's got action and special effects and chases and stuff, but it's actually about real experiences that we've had. So I think whatever you write, try and draw on something that means something to you. Don't write about what you think people will like. You've got to write about what you like.
What was your name, sir?
Clara.
Well,
we love
thank you for your question, and you've got to be very disciplined and
Never give up.
never give up. That's my advice.
I just, even though you didn't ask me, Bill Hicks had a great bit of advice once, because there are so many comics in the world, and he said, the more specific your own voice is, the less competition you have with the rest of the world. So I think it's really just about, like you said, writing exactly what you know, sticking to that, and not worrying about what other people are doing, just being as much you as you can possibly be.
You've got to make the movies you want to do rather than the movies you think you ought to do.
Thank you, Clara.
Thanks, Clara.
Thank you.
I think we have to, unless your question is really fast, I think they just said we have to stop, but if you, okay, go ahead.
It is really fast, I promise. Collectively, how many cornettos have you eaten?
48. Since this morning. Or never.
72.
All right, that's all the time we have for this panel. Veronica Martin is coming next.